Hello again. I wanted to talk a little bit about monochrome. And actually, when I looked at Silkypix's initial feature set, I wasn't going to spend a lot of time talking about monochrome. Part of it is one, I don't do a lot of black and white. And second of all, if I do black and white, um, I don't necessarily have to do it in the raw converter. I could export a color photo, bring it into Silver FX Pro or Photoshop or any one of dozens of applications. And the monochrome controllers all pretty much work the same way. And here's the controller as it shows up in in version 7 and above, I believe. I believe 6 and earlier. You could use a tool similar to this, but in a different way. And I'll show you that in a second. So you can do either a color filter and pick one of these color filters, and that acts as if you had put a color filter in front of your lens. Um, or you can use this lightness and you can pick a color channel and you can move the sliders back and forth. And so if you adjust, for example, the orange, it makes the orange brighter or orange colored brighter or darker. That looks really terrible, but so that's how those work. If you have Silkypix 6 or previous, you could do something similar. You could go in to your color tool, take the saturation down, and then you can go into the fine color controller. You could pick orange, orange, and you could, oops, sorry, not the saturation, that's already 0. You could adjust the lightness of that orange channel that way. So you actually, monochrome controller that's new in 7, you could actually do the same thing earlier. Another way, just bring the saturation back to where it was. Another way that you could do things is you could go into photo style, monochrome, and monochrome 1 was always kind of a bland. It's almost like the straight to saturation to 0. Monochrome 2, I think, gave a more natural look. I think it's more pleasing in general over a number of different types of images. But you were always kind of stuck with monochrome 2, I had thought. But what I discovered is that you can, after you pick one of these, monochrome or monochrome 2, you can still go back in and you can still modify the color response in the monochrome controller. And so that's pretty neat because you can start with monochrome 2 and then adjust it to your taste. What's even neater is that I took this with a Panasonic camera. I think I had this at their Vivid style. Let me turn off monochrome. But Panasonic also has their various monochrome color styles. If you have a Fuji, you can also have the Fuji film styles. So let's just pick L.monochrome, which is kind of a contrasty monochrome. And even with this, you can still then open up, whoops, your monochrome controller, and we can still adjust the spectral response from there. So, kind of a neat feature. Now, what I have found is that if you're using the Fuji color film simulations, the Acros or the or one of the various other ones, this trick doesn't work. You have to just pick Acros red filter, Acros yellow filter, Acros green filter. But if you are using Panasonic, or even if you're just using a Nikon, Canon, or Olympus camera, or Sony, you can still go into the monochrome and then you can still adjust the monochrome that way. So neat little trick. Hope this was useful for some of you. If you have questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section. Otherwise, feel free to like me on Facebook. And as always, if you want to be notified of new videos, just go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.